and sit down.
Yes, everybody, what is going on? It's Sunday night. I've got a new guest here with me tonight. It is Vizeh joining us for all you lot spouting Dean Marnie in the comments. How you doing?
Sorry.
How you doing?
I'm buzzing. I mean, it's coming on.
Can we have a count, please? Can we have a count, please? Because he's threatened to say this 100 times in there. So let's have a count. How many times he's going to say it's coming on?
If you want to just do it right now, well, makes your life easier. but England are in a World Cup semi-final and...
hang on,
it's happening.
Just repeat that a second.
England on a World Cup semi-final, and not gonna lie, I'm quite hard right now.
You wasn't alive when the last time that happened, was you?
Nah, 98.
I was born. No, 1990 it was.
Fuck me, you old.
28 years. I was 5 years old at the time.
You're 5 years old in 1990?
No, 6. At 6 years old. 6 years old. Summer of 1990.
You genuinely could be my dad. I mean,
Dean Marnie was your old man.
I have a lot of people which I don't know what was. I think I'm adopted some way.
I've caught the sun me recently.
You caught sunbeam.
Have you just been in the basement for the last 2 weeks?
Why do you look red as well?
I am red, aren't I?
Yo, I mean, I
just
look white because I am, and yeah, you look like...
Yeah, blood pressure, that, I think.
Yo, Love Island's big editor, fake tanning in that. Fake tanning. But,
right, let's get into it then. So what we saw this weekend was we saw France progress into the semi-final with a workmanlike performance, should we say, over Uruguay. I
think it's relatively expected. Of course, we all knew about how good the defence of Uruguay is. However, without Cavani, their game plan is pretty much turned out the window. So it was almost kind of see, will France bottle it, like what they kind of always have done for the last few years. But saying that, I'm English and I support England, so it's going to happen to us soon. But not yet.
Then we saw Belgium put on a bit of a show against Brazil.
I'm surprised.
It was a good performance.
Like, I've never been a massive fan of Roberto Martinez, and like I always said, like if England doesn't win it, I expect Brazil to, because of just the pure amount of quality they have. And yeah, I quite let down. Neymar, not really a tournament to remember. I mean, it's just been him rolling on the floor 5,000 fucking times.
Well, it has, and check this out, because he's even made it onto some TV shows that are just absolutely ripping the piss out of him.
where even is that?
I don't even know where that is.
That'd be Belgium or something. That'd be Belgium.
But that's basically what Neymar's contribution to the World Cup ended up being. I mean, it was embarrassing, wasn't it? Literally every time he get touched, and even if he didn't get touched, the reaction from...
I mean, to be fair, I watched the first 2 games, and after that, I just got bored, really. And honestly, he was getting beaten the shit out of. I'll be fair to him, he was getting kicked every single time he got near the ball. For obvious reasons, because he is a quality player. I mean, not quite Harry Kane, but he's still a good player. So, Neymar just don't have noodle hair. That's pretty much it.
So we'll talk about England in a second, but before that, let's talk about Russia and Croatia. So, I lost a fortune on Croatia not being able to get it done in 90 minutes.
Did you put a bet?
I had an acca on. Well, I had several accas on. I don't want to right load if Uruguay had managed to do it against France, but Croatia, if they'd have got it done in 90 minutes, I'd have won a few hundred. They didn't, obviously. But it was a decent performance. It was a decent performance from Russia. Again, outrunning everybody. We are saying absolutely nothing about how that went down. If you're watching Mr. Putin, I think it's a great country. Everybody loves your goulash. Be fine. But Croatia, again, needing to go past the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we saw an England performance, which, I'm going to be honest with you, mate, it was easy.
It was relatively, like, I was around the 70th, after, like, they missed their chances, like, Pickford made us say. Of course, I'm a Burnley fan. I love Nick Pope to death, but he has fucking surprised me.
Pickford's been incredible. Some of the saves have been, like, they've been defining saves.
Like, the main one, which I'll say, was the header by Berg in, like, the 48th minute, something like that. Like, if he scored that, then, mate, I'd be running away, but... to be fair, made us say from the Croatia game, good thing that you watched it, because I was like dead in the canal when that happened yesterday. So like, it's a good thing that you actually watched, because I would have like, yeah, it was a game, innit?
It was professional from Croatia, but they was put under threat a little bit with Russia on the counter attack, which I think is the way England need to play it. Now I'm thinking that if they're not taking any of the special supplements that may or may not be around at the World Cup, then they're really going to struggle with the continual extra times that they've had. And England looked relatively fresh, I must say. But
we did, but Sweden, saying that, they did look really poor.
Sweden was terrible.
It was a really fortunate time to face against them because I don't know. Sweden just. I don't know if we were good or they were bad. That's the worst part. And of course, with who.
But it was easy. It wasn't even in threat, was it? There was no time. There
were times. Like if Berg scored that, then we would be in shit creek big time. Let's be real. However, I feel like I just don't know if we've actually been really good or we are getting better and better by each game. And it's almost like the kind of confidence. I think the penalty shootout win is a massive kind of like their togetherness and not just because they saw what scenes it caused. Like several relationships, several families have been broken up because of Eric Dyer. There's kids in the street right now not knowing who their dad is because of that goal. And even better, Colombians. That's funny as fuck. Like, I don't like seeing kids cry, but when England win a penalty shootout, I really just don't give a fuck. And that's the matter of fact. So yeah.
If you're watching the video and you're enjoying the content, please make sure to drop us a like. Subscribe if you're one of his lot that's just popped over to come and check us out. Because if this goes all right, maybe we'll have him back again in the new season. Maybe we won't.
I saw also a comment saying, "How much should I pay you to get onto the show?" I mean, also by the way, shout out to the D Money guys.
Everyone that's dropping the D Money in the comments. I expected this, to be honest. Maybe it was why I asked him on in the first place. Now things got a little out of hand. Should we just say this? They got a little out of hand, didn't they? Now, the first thing that we saw, and I actually called this sort of as a joke, was IKEA is going to get absolutely rinsed.
Yeah.
Now, I actually thought it'd be like 5 dudes, probably like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be like an entire bar would just steamroll into IKEA. Now, this I find it quite funny, mainly because IKEA is a big corporation. I'm sure they
should respect it. They should.
Yeah, but what's funny is like because you're going to be going up to like I don't know where that was. I think it was in London. But it's like people will be going in the face of all the workers. They're like, I'm from Croydon. Like, what? I'm not from Stockholm.
I mean,
what are you
fortunately,
doing?
in that video, actually, you can see the faces of the people that actually work there.
Like going,
they were kind of seeing the funny side because what I saw from that, it was just them like jumping on beds and that. I mean, there could be more scenes.
It's relatively harmless fun. It's a nightmare to clean up, but it's relatively harmless fun, and it's quite funny. We also had this happening as well. It's just going to descend. That was on the back of the Colombia game, that last one. But we also had this. And this is where it now starts to descend. Madness, I think. From this, we have the guy jumping through the bus stop. It's just walking off, son, and then this is a joke.
Wait,
this one. What you can't see there is the dude that's jumping up and down on that guy's roof. It's one of them glass roof cars, and he's jumping up and down. And he goes through it. How doesn't he cut his legs? He just pops back out of it.
I think that he's just. To be fair, like I feel like we all as England fans that when, of course, scenes of Colombia game especially, that you feel like you're fucking like superhuman. You feel like because you're screaming, you're high as fuck. Probably.
What happens if we win on Wednesday night? If we win on Wednesday night, now I don't know if Wednesday's going to be the bad one.
Wednesday night, I'm thinking about Sunday night.
All right, if we win on Sunday night,
the World Cup, I will be found in a canal if we win or we lose. I will be gone. Like, you can have my channel. Like, either way, I'm gone, man. Like, England's in a World Cup semi-final.
England is in a World Cup semi-final. That's happening on Wednesday.
However, it is good to say as well that just don't be a dick about it. Mainly of vandalising and cars and houses.
Win or lose on the booze. That's how it goes down. And I know you guys are sitting at home going, listen, there's another quarter-final happened this week, and we want to know who's in the semi-final. It's World Cup beers time, let's find out. Chin chin to the boys.
This fucking stinks of chili. It's like licking a fucking smoke-filled arena.
Who the fuck thought this is a good idea? That is disgusting. 2 lots of quarterfinals coming up for you. We have got an absolute monster clash coming up for you. probably two of the better teams in the tournament so far, which is Blue Moon, Uruguay, I like Belgium, but whatever, it's Uruguay, and Guinness from Nigeria. Fucking hell. These two have been belting. It's a shame that these have come up. This wouldn't have made a bad final, if I'm being honest with you. These two beers have been absolutely belting all the way through it, and none of them deserve to be losing today. Let's see who's going through to the semi-final. I gotta tell you, I fucking like this beer, man. Ooh, excuse me, hiccups. That's a good beer, you know. Can a Nigerian Irish drink do it? It's so different to a normal Guinness. It's so different. I mean, it's still got that dark roasted thing going on. I mean, look how dark it is. It's black, isn't it? It's such a dark drink. It's a nice drink, though, you know. It's also 7.5%, which is brutal. Who's drinking that normal? That's rocket fuel. It's nice, man. Again, this is another tough call. Like the last one, it was such a difficult... It's a difficult call, but I think I'm going to have to put Blue Moon through to the semi-final. Uruguay, they're going all the way. Boys in green, quarter-final knockout, but no disgrace there. I mean, it's been absolutely mega fair play to them. Last quarter-final. Who's taking the last space in the quarter-finals? I mean, it's none of the fancy teams, to be honest. We've got Iceland, Belgium, Uruguay, and then it's going to be Switzerland or Panama in the favourites. There you go. This just tells you how many beers I've drank. In the quarterfinals, deciding the last quarterfinals. So we've got, obviously, Panama represented by the Netherlands brewed Mexican-style Desperado. Probably should be some sort of penalty against them for that. And the dearest beer in the fucking world, which is La Saison from Switzerland. And they've also been out for so long now that these are all getting warm. So they're losing a little bit of something there. Let's see how Desperado gets on. See, I'm a fan of Desperado. It's what I drink on a night out, to be honest. La Saison, Switzerland. I mean, fucking hell, Panama. But Switzerland, they're here. They're in the fucking quarterfinals. But I think they go no further. I think they met the match in Desperado. Panama are in the fucking semi-finals. Are you having that? Back to the fucking show.
Yes, everybody, there you go. That is World Cup of Beers. We are going to be putting World Cup of Beers out as a single video, so you can just watch me start off like quite nice and shiny and bright as a button, and end up the drunken fucking mess that I was on the train going on.
I'm just seeing you in each one, just slowly just get even more fucked. I'm
just
like
getting tongue-tied and can't say my words or anything like that.
I mean, usually that's my job as well.
Right, so we have a thing on this show, which I'm going to show you now, which is called Div Bingo, and it's top.
Oh, that's an
That's the rules for Div Bingo right there on the screen. So as you can see, people with cringy signs, we've not had many of them, have we? 69 shirts, we have had a couple of those.
Have you actually?
We have had a couple of those. Some utter choppers with the 69 shirts.
You know, I appreciate, as all things, demolishing an IKEA, 69 shirts. I know which one's less, isn't that bad.
Well, one's on the list. Jester hats, face paint, full kits, belly tattoos, fancy dress, and wordy flags. That is what makes up Div Bingo. Should we go and have a look?
Let's go see the worst.
Let me just check that I'm still on here.
Are you still on it?
I'm just checking that we're still on, because we have to go to my phone.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's just hit it over.
Yeah, make sure to not show anything big weird.
Here we go. So let's hold it over. Let's see what we've got then. So
I haven't seen this yet either, so I have no idea what to expect here.
What is this individual?
What is that even for?
It's a Morris dancer. Oh, did he just knock that dude out?
That was the last, wasn't it?
He's a Morris dancer with, I'm going to say, a dozen instruments strapped to him. At least a dozen, because there's a flute there, a horn, some sort of brass thing, a drum, some sort of guitar going on. What is it? If you can sing and play guitar, right? You're a talented individual, aren't you? When you start like strapping string to your knees and stuff and tambourines
get the
in
fucking
between,
triangle out.
What?
We can't listen to it, but how much should I bet that just sounds like shit? And there's literally just no point in it at all. Can we listen to it? Nah,
No,
he's
the music's
faulty.
not
He's faulty. I thought you was professional.
Dyeing your moustache.
That's standard.
Especially if you're Belgian.
I mean,
go.
I'm jealous I can't grow a moustache, so.
Oh,
Wait, what's that?
my guy sitting in there just wounded in the middle with some sort of blonde wig on. And then there's a guy with some sort of troll hat thing going on behind him there.
It makes you think, do these guys just wait for the World Cup so that they can just go as fucking mental as they can and then not get looked at that weirdly? That's like some sort of, is that like some Super Saiyan, like some Dragon Ball Z kind of shit? Like, what's that about? What's this? Okay.
This guy trying to get a job now, isn't he? I guarantee he's on Summit by the end of the World Cup on telly somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Someone's giving that guy a job. I'm certain of it.
Like Gareth Southgate lookalike, like Twitter account name.
Standard. Oh.
Okay, that's just... Imagine the effort of doing that. Honestly, like...
Do you do that all yourself, or do you have to enlist help?
Go to the hospital, it's like, yo...
Mick! Do me arse cheeks!
Oh my god.
No, wrong colour!
Wrong colour. What?
It's the same old thing, innit, right? These guys that have just gone, covered themselves head to toe in face paint. Just imagine being on the tram with them and they're rubbing up against you, covering you in paint. And you're like, yeah, mate. You dick.
Where's that always start? Where's that came from? Okay, what is happening?
This looks like the Joker from Batman.
Maybe he's just... How bored do you have to become?
This is all one
this?
shirt. This is all one shirt. How do they get through the turnstile, though?
Wait. I mean, of course, they must like sneaked it in some way.
It's not in Div Bingo, though, to be honest.
I'm not allowed to have like the most simple shit. I get looked at weird for just like I can. What is that? What is that? I mean, to be fair, there's pain. Can you please stop zooming in? Get me excited.
Oh, that's the England fans in IKEA. We obviously got that one.
Yeah.
Is that half and half face? What's going on there?
I think he just doesn't know what country he's actually from. he must have just run out of paint, white and blue. He must have just run out.
Is he asleep?
No, I think he's just depressed. Because he's getting beaten 2-0 by Belgium.
It's not a wordy sign. It's a shit sign, no.
Wait, okay, do Wenger out if he's actually still in a job? What's that about? Okay, that's just great.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's Paddy Evra. Paddy Evra can do no wrong. He's not a div.
Could he shag your wife?
That guy's a div, though.
What?
Gillan Balagay.
Drama.
Murphs.
Drama.
Morph suits.
Yet again, not allowed in with a bottle cap. But they've got fucking gimp suits pretty much.
Well, they're not allowed within 500 yards of a fucking primary school either.
That's just an interesting one. I mean,
that's the equivalent of the night outfit for England.
That's right. That's right.
No, it's not right.
I mean,
oh my days!
What is that?
This is Div Bingo, like.
That's mate.
That's a full house.
Woo! Yeah, that might be a full house.
You're gonna go to bed just thinking of that, aren't you? She's fit though, at least. Not him. Stop staring at him. What the fuck's their hair? Is that real or fake? I can't tell.
I think that's definitely fake. What is it? Adults? If you're a kid in your face paint, I got time for you, but.
I think I'm just gonna be quiet and just let you.
Fucking div. I'm not div. I'm not div.
You are never gonna be.
Alright, let's back on the life.
You were never gonna let that down ever in your life. Right.
Football's coming home. Three Lions is #1 in the charts as of today, which is probably the first time that's happened since 1996 when it was first released. I imagine. Although it probably did chart again in '98, but I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Probably did.
I
Remixed it,
wasn't
didn't it, for
born,
98?
so I don't know. I wasn't born. I wasn't born, dude.
Should we see what you guys are saying in the comments? The Southgate lookalike. I cried with laughter. Really?
I think that
funny.
honestly, the worst part is I just don't think that he really does look like. He just has a beard. Like is that Jamie Vardy look like? Like yeah, I guess he looks like a chav also. That's really it. This guy just has a beard. He just has a beard. That's it. And he talks like a bit.
Taking a water bottle cap is one of the worst things at a game at Old Trafford. It's madness in it. You like people are stuck in flares and all kinds of stuff. Like, whoa! Is that Fanta got a lid on?
No, that happened to me at United away. That like I got taken off me. And the thing, that's the first time that's ever happened. I was like, bro, why? Who do you think I am? Look at me. Look at my arms. Do you think I'm able to reach the pitch with my arms looking like this?
Pat Miles in the comments says, thoughts on England's defence this tournament? I think they've been protected by the fact that England like to hold possession. And for that reason, you've not really seen England's defence tested too much. And England are very good at getting the whole team behind the ball when it's their time to defend. I do think there's mistakes in this defence, though.
And I think that mistake for me, there will be any weakness, will be Kyle Walker.
Yeah, and people aren't going to accept me saying this because I'm a United fan, that's a City player, but as good as he is on the ball, he's not in there as a centre half for defensive reasons. He's in there
he can do a job.
To move the ball forward up the pitch because that's what this entire defence is designed to do.
Yeah.
But I think if Croatia, with the target men that they've got, I'm going to sit one on Kyle Walker. I'm going to put the ball up because he's not good enough in the air. I would also use him as the trigger if you're going to start pressing this England team. Yeah. And I would maybe let John Stones have it. I'd maybe let Maguire have it. And then as soon as it goes to Kyle Walker, I'd be on him because I think he's used to a little bit more time at City than he's getting in this England team. And if I'm playing against him, that's the guy I'm going to target in that defence. Because if you turn it over there with him, you've got a whole channel that you can get him because the wing backs are quite far forward. So that's the target that I would be using. So I think apart from that, I mean, Maguire's been fantastic in the air. I mean, if you try and fast forward to the potential final, Lukaku drifts off to the right. Belgium don't want to be putting balls up for Lukaku on that right-hand side against Harry Maguire because that's a duel you're not going to win. You always want to go where you know you're going to bully somebody. You don't try, oh, this will be a good matchup, let's see what happens. No, you go bollocks to that. Yeah. Let's put Lukaku on Kyle Walker. Now we've got a party, haven't we? So you've got to look at where your big weaknesses are. And I think for me, Kyle Walker, especially aerially, and particularly when he dwells on the ball a little bit, would be the guy that I target. That's not to say that it'll be him that fucks it up. But if I'm looking for a potential weakness, that's where I would go for. Jacob says Modric and Rakitic hardly showed up against Denmark, so just copy Denmark.
Made us say that, bro. I understood like 5 things of what you just said, Dustin. I was just looking at things to say, yo, you're saying so many words. I'm like, yeah, they're good, aren't they? You can tell that he's a smart one here. I'm just the guy. I'll let you talk.
How are England going to stop Modric and Rakitic? I think England struggle against them in midfield, and I think this is where you see that plan B from England. I think they've got to change formation.
Do you think the plan B will be going direct?
I honestly think if England want to win this World Cup, they should embody the spirit of Leicester from a couple of years ago. Go 4-4-2.
Brexit!
Even maybe literally play Jamie Vardy.
Brexit!
Because you've got the players that can hit him. Yeah. And actually try and find Jamie Vardy in the channels.
Vardy has been, like, when he's came on, he hasn't really done that much.
He's not, but his pace is there for days. Isn't it?
His pace is there.
That's always going to cause trouble for people. Thomas says, yes, as a wide target man versus Walker and Trippier would be okay if we cut the supply to him or mark the space he flicks into. I don't think it's that simple. I think they're just too small. And I think Trippier is fantastic, and he is the number one outlet for England. I think the right-hand side there, I think Jesse Lingard's been brilliant at linking up with Trippier, and if there's any chance of him being available, that I would jump at the chance to get him at United. But I would love to see them utilising that a little bit more and getting the balls into the box, because I think that's my issue with Sterling has been that he dwells on the ball a little too much. And I think, especially when it's crunch time now, semi-final, final time, you've got to just take every single chance.
We will not get anywhere near as many chances as what we did against Sweden, and we do need a plan B. I feel like with Croatia that it is, even though it's not a Germany because they're out, it's not because it's not Brazil.
But it's got a fantastic midfield.
It's a fantastic chance for us to make it through, though.
So there's a guy in the comments here, is he one of your lot? Says, Reece Jelling-Fisher, why would you change... He called me an idiot first. So he goes, why would you change formation when you get to a semi-final? Well, Reece, I'll tell you why you change formation when you get to a semi-final. Because every team that you've faced so far is happy to let you have the ball and play on the counter. But the teams that you're about to face in the final and the semi-finals are not the teams that are going to let you... are going to play in the counter against you. These are teams that are going to have more of the ball than you are. And that's Croatia, because they've got an infinitely better midfield than our one-man midfield that we've been playing. Or you play against France and Belgium, and those are two top world-class midfields. So England cannot play the same way they've played because they're facing different threats and different teams. The difference is all of the teams that we've faced so far, we've been expected to beat them and they will play on the counter. They are smaller teams that will happily let England have the ball and try and hit us on the break.
Yeah.
The fucking opposite is now the case in the semi-finals. That Croatian midfield will have well more of the ball than England do, so you can't just be like, well, we don't let them.
Yeah.
It don't fucking work like that, does it? It's not as simple as this. That midfield is well better.
I'm getting smarter just listening to this guy, seriously.
That midfield is better than England's, and England's threats is in that attack. So the whole team and the whole system that Southgate has created, and I'll hold my hands up and say it's worked fucking perfectly up to this point.
So shall we say then, when it comes to our actual team, starting 11, would you say Loftus-Cheek
Yes.
in for Ali?
Or maybe Ali or Sterling, yeah, because
of course he's a lot more physical. He just has a presence, and I think that with the ball, I feel like he is better because he seems to glide against the ball. I love watching him.
I think that the issue with Loftus-Cheek is that I'm not sure defensively he's covering the spaces he's meant to cover. But I do think if you're playing Dyer and Henderson and Loftus-Cheek, you can get away with that a little bit. And I think Plan B for England should be revert to a back four. Let's pull those full-backs back a little bit. In this instance,
so
let's go to a midfield three and a traditional Premier League 4-3-3. So that would be maybe Vardy on one side or Rashford, Lingard with Kane in the middle.
I mean, of course, you know your stuff a lot more than what I probably do. For me, outside of this, I would probably say that, honestly, I think it's safer to not change it. I think it is. Maybe I'm just a typical.
But you've also got to remember.
I'm scared that if you change it, that we will lose what has got us this so far.
There's two problems with changing. One is that we haven't seen what England's plan B is, and that might mean England aren't as comfortable as we would hope they are with it. The other thing is, if you don't change, and you've played the same formation all the way through the tournament, it's very easy for an opposition to go, that's the weak point.
But I would say start it like that, and then if it isn't working half-time, then change it. I think we should start with the three at the back and then two linemen, because what do you say, Walker goes and then Trippier is the right back. For me, I will start the way it is, and if it's not working at half-time, God knows, hopefully we're not like 3-0 down at that stage.
That's the problem,
and then
isn't it?
Change it.
Can you allow someone like Croatia to get a goal or two ahead of you?
You said that we're one-man midfield. Who's one man? Is it Henderson?
It's Henderson, yeah. So Henderson up against an entire midfield, essentially. Because what England does is they like to hold possession on the halfway line with that back five, essentially. Yeah. Henderson doesn't do anything possession-wise. He will recycle it as an extra man in that defensive unit as they're holding the ball. And then the ball goes forward down the channels or from Walker and Maguire into the forward three. And that's what England have been doing for the entire tournament. Now, if you're an opposition manager, you block off with your midfield, which is definitely better. You block off those channels, and now England are going to have to be resorting to long balls with Jesse Lingard and Raheem Sterling. And if you double mark Kane, and you could leave those because Sterling and Lingard don't win stuff in the air. So you could really effectively block off England's main source of supply. That's why I think England have to change the formation and shock Croatia a little bit and try and... I don't think you can even win the midfield battle, but I think if you change it and preempt the midfield battle, because if you allow them the free run of midfield, the only saving grace England have got is Croatia with Mandzukic don't have a killer in a striker. If they had a killer as a striker, this game could be an embarrassment. Yeah, because that midfield is so fucking good.
You love their midfield.
It's a fucking brilliant midfield. It's top and bottom.
We say they're the best midfield, in the entire tournament.
No, I would have said Germany.
You would have said Germany. And how did that go?
But that's it. But that's it. That's World Cup football, isn't it? So I mean, there might be a way England can get through.
Do you think that Croatia was great against Russia?
No, they were poor. But I don't know how much fatigue is being played into this. So if England can hit them fast and England can get in amongst them and England can be aggressive, they could unsettle them and they could get a goal. The system is working, but it's worked against a certain sort of profile of a side, and I don't know if that profile is what you're about to come up against in the semi, and definitely not in the final. For the final, they must change. If they keep that same system, the midfield and attack
what
of both of them teams...
with three in the back and then it works perfectly well, would you then still not change it? Fact of the matter is...
Against Croatia. If it works against Croatia, would have changed it for the final.
We go face against... either France or Belgium, maybe
I don't know.
Similar kind of team in midfield.
It would depend on... I don't know. You're going to have to know what they're like in training. Because if Southgate... You've got pros and cons with everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
The pros of changing it are the opposition doesn't know what you're about to do. So it might take them 20 minutes of figuring you out. before they go, okay, we've got it. And then it might take them all the way till half-time before they can tell the team, this is what they're doing. If they know what you're about to do, then they can easily... The instructions to the team is very easy. Like we said earlier, target Walker, he's the weak link in that. Well, if you take Walker out of the team and now it's a back four, those forwards that was thinking that they had a trigger to press, they might not press.
Every single team has their weaknesses. Like,
exactly.
You can go to Germany, of course, they have the weaknesses and stuff like that.
But you can't identify it if you've just changed the formation on them. So your pro, one of the pros of changing the formation for a final is that you don't give away your hand, and it could take them 45 minutes to get into the fight with you. One of the negatives is, if the players don't know it as well as they know this system, your own players might take a minute to get into it. So there's no right or wrong answer here, and you're only going to play the match once. You can't. It's not like Footy Manager where you can fucking restart that shit and just go back into it and try it again.
I may say that I have done that many times before.
We've all done that.
I like say this before the game. It's like, never know. Fact of the matter is, we can say about what you think is going to happen or stuff like that. Most of the thing is that, do you think that we have the bottle for it? Of course, youngest and most least experienced, really.
I would have said no until the penalties against Colombia, and they was amazing. Technically,
it was
bang on. Even Henderson's was a good penalty. It was just a better save. Like, the penalties, they've been practiced.
The funny thing is, probably the worst penalty out in that entire shootout was Dyer's that won it.
Yeah, or Kane's that went down the middle was a...
But the Dyer's, though, if that was Courtois in net, that was saved. That was saved.
Yeah.
If Courtois was in there in that same situation, it would have been saved. So, do you think that we have the bottle for it? Against Croatia, we have had past experience with them as well. You know, they knocked us out of Euros, didn't they?
Out of the teams that are remaining in this, you rather face Croatia than Belgium or France.
Yeah.
I think if we're being realistic, the winner of the World Cup comes from the other semi-final. But if England can get there, you can have a big say in it. This France team could bottle it. You've got Roberto Martinez, who's not the most experienced or not the greatest manager. There's going to be inexperience in buckets going into this. There's weaknesses in every single team, and
it's coming on.
It's
coming on.
It's 90 minutes of the most intense pressure. I don't know how many billion people watch this, but it must affect you. It must affect you.
Yeah, no matter how many times you've kicked a ball in your life, like in these players' careers, this is it, really. Especially for England, I don't think that we will be in the semi-final. Well, we may be. I don't fucking know, do I?
Like I said, I was 6 the last time it had happened.
Yeah.
Since then, like, I've gone all the way through school, high school, college, joined the army, left the army, started a different job, did that job for a bit, and like all of these things have happened, and people have lived and died and not seen us even get to another semi-final, let alone a final.
Not even a semi-final.
So can you imagine?
Barely even quarters. Was quarters 2006? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2006. So for me as well, because of course I'm younger than you, my experience with England, like the only time before this tournament even happened, the only time watching England that I've ever got buzzed and that like like an actual scenes moment was against Wales in Euros, Sturridge's goal. That's the only time that I've ever purely celebrated in England goal that I think I'm going to die. It's just like literally just me at any away game of Burnley that I think I'm going to die because it's like that euphoria. And I've had that twice, 3 times. Tunisia, Colombia's shootout, and even to be fair for Sweden, I'm thinking, holy shit, we are in a semi-final of a World Cup, and I'm saying that, and I'm like, because the funny thing is though, at the start of it, of course for me, if you guys follow me on Twitter, that's official, Vizeh, I was saying at the start of it, saying, yeah, it's coming on. I was kind of wanted to believe, but I'm thinking, yeah, it's England. But now we're actually here, it's like, it's fucking coming home. Once you see David Beckham, of all fucking people, saying it's coming home, and he looks at you with those eyes, you fucking believe it's coming home. Like, we've got Alan Shearer saying it now, you've got like Lingard and Trent Alexander-Arnold on pitch saying it.
There's a togetherness and a good feeling about this England team, which is hard to explain.
It's almost a joke and not at the same time. Like, yeah, it's coming on, but like, it's coming home.
It's like, hard to explain. I lived through Euro 96 and I got swept up in Euro 96 because it was here. And I went to all of the games that was at Old Trafford. None of them was England games. We had Germany, Italy, Croatia, Czech Republic, I think, and all played games there. I think we had all the group matches in a quarter-final that was there. I think, something along those lines. And you felt like you got swept up in it. I'm in the middle of and getting swept up in all of this lot. And even as, like, I sit on the outside and I don't really fuck with England as a team and get behind it.
We know of that.
But I am loving the togetherness that I see from this England side. Even as an outsider, if I'm looking at the Belgium side and I'm seeing what Lukaku's doing with them, I can admire what's going on with there. And I can admire what Southgate's done with this team because it's incredible to surpass what that 98 side was a talented side, a talented side. 2002 with Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand at the back. That was a talented side.
I was 4 years old. I started watching.
2006, we had a midfield that had Beckham and Gerrard and Lampard, and we had a Rio and John Terry in defence, and a peak Wayne Rooney up front. And you think,
and now we're thinking that there's an actual possibility of Nick Pope lifting the fucking World Cup.
Phil Jones might be a World Cup winner.
He comes back to Old Trafford as a World Cup winner. He starts instantly. I don't care. He comes back as a hero. His name would therefore become Sir Phil Jones.
There's every chance that it could happen.
It will. I mean, even though he hasn't really done anything at all, he will be called Sir Phil Jones. And that is the true meaning.
Do you reckon Southgate get knighted if they win it?
Yeah.
Like immediately?
No, I mean,
like the Queen will be on the phone like, Gareth.
Give it a week. Do you think the Queen has a phone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon it's an house phone.
Do you think she's
wired and
do you think?
it's well heavy.
I'm thinking more. Do you think like Apple or Android kind of?
No, I don't reckon she is.
I think it should be more Apple. Trendy and that.
I'm going to wrap it up here, but Vizeh, thanks for joining us.
I appreciated it. I had a laugh, and most importantly, it's coming home.
If you'd like to see him a bit more on here, we are thinking about having Liam come and doing the regular meat pie. If you'd like to see me and Liam, him giving his Burnley and Europa League perspective.
Yeah, I haven't said anything about that, to be fair. Probably like now. It's coming home in the Europa League as well.
I think that's more. It's more pertinent to everybody, isn't it?
I mean, I'm going to die in Aberdeen, so we all know that because I've pissed off half of Scotland. So if you're Scottish watching this, I love you. Please don't kill me. And I think that's what I really wanted to say. And to be fair, I only really came here because there's a chance I could get verified on Twitter if I was on air. Because if you are, anyone could be. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks to Liam for joining us. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of Liam on this channel. We are thinking of Liam coming down because we're going to continue meat pie into the season. Obviously, it's going to be less of a World Cup vibe and it's more, let's talk generally about the Premier League and all of the daft shit that goes on in there. And I didn't want another United fan. So that's what Liam's going to be hopefully coming and doing. But you guys let us know and we'll see what you guys say. But go and check out his YouTube channel.
I'm second pick, pretty much.
Go check out his YouTube channel. Give him a subscribe. He's got some fucking funny stuff on there. And definitely there's one about what's happened with Scotland and whether or not he lives on Scotland. But thank you guys. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure to like the video and we'll see you in the next one.
It's coming on.